Good morning, Andrew. Where were you yesterday?
I wasn't at my apartment. I was up at Fort Hood.
Oh, okay. Oh, were you?
Yeah, I had a doctor's appointment.
Okay. Hendricks, good morning. Good to see you. Loretta, you're coming in view. Robert Urban. Fine. Good morning.
Good morning, Chef.
I'm sorry, honey. I know it's early. When I hear that voice, it's so down. Good morning, Marcus.
Morning, Chef.
Good day.
We'll find out.
What have you got in front of you? Jonas, what is all that?
What's that, Chef?
What were you showing us just now in front of you?
My wife and I bought a 75-inch TV.
Well, good.
We've been planning on getting it for like, I don't know, 8 months, 10 months maybe. And we got our tax return finally, and we bought a TV that was it's a nice TV.
Well, good.
Yeah, it's nice.
Everybody else get their stimulus package yet? To make it work? Did you, Matthew, get yours? You didn't get
Nope.
yours?
Nope. Still waiting.
Why?
Wait,
still
really?
waiting?
Nope.
You didn't, Matthew?
Nope.
I didn't get mine yet.
I think my wife makes too much money. I don't know.
No, that shouldn't have anything to do with it.
Oh, yeah, it does.
You paid taxes, didn't you, Matt? Did you pay taxes? You have an income tax?
We pay every year, yeah. We
Well,
don't get
do
a
you- do you-
refund.
do-
But yeah, we file taxes every year, yeah.
Do you do it jointed or
Yeah.
separately?
Yeah. I
Joined it.
joined. Yeah.
All right.
Chef Cliff, did you get yours?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, but you know what? I heard there was also alphabetically. Did you know that one? That's what they say. I don't know. Rena, sorry.
Good morning.
Me and names are just about fried.
Good morning.
Good morning. You doing good today?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. How are you?
Okay. $6:02. Roro,
Good morning, Chef.
good morning.
I know I just rolled over, but I'm about to get on. How you doing?
Okay. I'm good. Good morning, Nigel. Good morning, Loretta.
Good morning, you beautiful people. Beautiful.
I know. I did talk to Stephanie yesterday, and she's gonna get in contact with you to talk to you. No, not you. Roro.
Good
Yes,
morning,
sir.
Chef Cliff.
Yeah, I know. He's up there in the corner.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. See, you made it.
I did. I've got electricity and internet now.
Chef Cliff, that storm knocked your power out, huh?
Yeah, it did.
When I woke up yesterday, I was asleep previously, but when I woke up, like the oven and the microwave and everything was set back to zero. Like it knocked the power out here, but it came
Yeah.
back on. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a crazy storm yesterday.
It was. But it was fast moving.
Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
But we needed the rain. Someone's tea is ready. You can hear the whistle.
Yep, that's a ready kettle right there.
Yes, it is.
Or a very small train station.
As we have been talking in the last couple of weeks, understanding the front of the house and the back of the house of what's really, really important in doing a restaurant. Finding out the menu items that we would like to serve. Is it worthwhile? I'm not going to say worthwhile. I shouldn't even say that word, because for the simple reason, that is what our dream is. Taking a possibility to make things work and following through, doing a project, learning from mistakes, learning from different aspects of what we want to get done. Really kind of helps us a lot to know which direction we want the restaurant to be, or a food truck to be.
Chef, are we going to do the screen share, or are we
Chef,
just loading the portal?
Where's Chef Cliff? They're right there. Yeah, there.
Okay. All right, cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Chef.
You're welcome.
So that is going to be day 19 today, right? Which
No,
is,
it's
Is this-
supposed to be day 20. This is day 26 today.
okay.
But Chef Miguel said it was labeled day whatever that is. I'm
Day 12?
Day 12. Yes.
All right. All right. Because okay.
All
That's
right.
all
Well, because I have day 24, day 25, day 26, and day 27 are for this week.
That's correct. That's the ones I
Okay,
gave you.
and this is what Chef Miguel gave me for day 26, and he said that it was showing day 12, but it should be say, and he could not change it,
Okay,
but it
that's
should
fine.
say day 26.
That's fine. That's fine. Purchasing, receiving, and storing. Understanding the process of purchasing, receiving, storing foods and beverage products to make sure. So, procurement, purchasing, receiving, the 4 steps of receiving, storage, and inventory. We've done this a little bit before, but we're going to be talking a little bit more about different things that we are going to be doing. Receiving, storage, and inventory. How important is it? We're kind of really going over and over a lot of the stuff that we've really talked about, but now going more so in little bit more of a detail more than anything else. So the first one, the 4 steps, purchasing. So go ahead, Chuck, keep going. Restaurant food purchasing. Food purchasing of any restaurant, especially of a new establishment, is very complex and intricate factory. Basically, it is a subsystem which integrates and operates as part of the whole system. Purchasing and receiving the food items, meat, produce, groceries, bakery, daily product, seafood, burgers require a complete system. Make sure that the food is fresh and quality product. The proper receiving, storage issues, consumption, and reordering requires well-established procedures and close monitoring. It is crucial and accurately defined market prices. The best tax to accomplish this objective is to negotiate a long-term contract, and if possible, at a fixed cost and a downside protection of where we can get it. Suppliers for some of the perishable items and groceries may be a mid or range of items for a week or a month. That allows the restaurant to control the process of what we do when we buy items, purchasing. So keep going. Okay, Chevy. Stands for the food are set, preferably in writing before a restaurant opens. The amount of purchase are based on the forecast of sales for that week or that couple of days, which admittedly is a guess since there is no sales history because we're just opening up. Their previous experience with a similar kind of restaurant is most helpful and valuable. Purveyors, suppliers are contacted, issuing the quality of the product, competition, price, time of delivery, mode and time of payment, return policies are discussed and agreed upon. Credit are established, food received and stored. When in operation, par stocks. How much do we have of each item on the shelf? It's the same thing in our storeroom at the school, making sure that we have the reasonable amount on hand. The reorder points to indicate more should be ordered at an establishment. So keeping all the things that we need in line for what we do the recipe. Remember, we have to make the recipe and write them down to the T. What are the ingredients that we need? What kind of meat do we need? What kind of stock do we make our own stock instead of buying stock? A lot of the chicken bones and all the beef. What can we do to eliminate a lot of buying? Making sure that we're on top of all of it, making money. That's the key word. That's what we are in business for, is to make money. To understand inventory control procedures. Remember, let's hire somebody to give you that template to make sure that your inventory is up to par. And make sure that it is secure. No, don't move, Chef. And make sure that it's secure, to make sure that you have the items that you need for that day. Inventory control procedures are important for reducing management costs, potential hazards associated with excess, off-spec, and expired material. Look at the dates when they come in, when the company brings in your items. What is inventory or stock? Inventory or stock is the amount of goods or materials that a restaurant bakery has in storage to sell a customer to create a stable goods. Make sure you look at the expiration date when it comes in. Some of these companies get big loads, truckloads of items with nearly expiration date. Do you want that? There should be a box for returns for when you receive it from Benny Keith or Cisco. They have an agreement, they take it back. No questions asked. Especially even on produce and stuff like that. Look at it. It's not acceptable don't accept it. That's the time you reject it, when the truck is there. Don't wait till you try to put it away and the truck is left. So much easier to pay attention to when it comes in the door. And there's no argument. And it's gone. Instead of going through it about 2-3 hours after the truck has been there. So your receiving people needs to pay attention. And remember, we've talked about this. The receiving people should be really in a hotel business or a country club when you're getting a larger quantity than a restaurant. So those are the things that you need to have somebody reliable enough to accept the product for you. 3 types of inventory: raw material inventory, work in progress inventory, and finished goods inventory. So what is raw material inventory? Raw material inventory is material used to create a good. It is not stable. It is input for work in progress inventory. To make sure eggs, butter, flour, sugar, things that you need to make things work. When a work is in progress inventory, there is an incomplete good that is a process of completion. It is not stable. It's in between. It is input for a finished good. That means for the front of the house, for people to get. Okay. What is a finished good? Finished goods are completed final food and it's sold to the customer. And it is a stable product. Cinnamon rolls, things like that, cakes. Look at the window. Croissants is one that, like I said before, in process. Next one, Chef. What is stock movement management? Inventory or stock management is establishment with maintenance of optimum level of stock for a business. Properly maintain accurate stock to enable uninterrupted service. So that means good on hand in the front of the house to make it work. Stock management ensures ability of ingredients when needed. Avoid the use of expired inventory. Minimize waste. One of the most worst things that you can have when you're having a restaurant is expired inventory, and you are minimizing your waste. Use everything that you've got. Like James was talking yesterday, all the peeling from carrots and all the beets and all that stuff, making vegetable stock to make it work. Same thing with chickens. Don't throw away the chicken bones. The meat will come off the chicken bones that you didn't get off and give it flavor. Management of stock levels. Successful inventory managers ensures that neither glut or lack of stock. That's the right level of stock to be maintained. What is your theme of your restaurant? What is the most used item that you use that you need to keep at hand? Breakfast items is basically like if you're going to be making breakfast items, pancakes, eggs, bacon. To make waffles, make sure you have flour, sugar, corn syrup, molasses, brown sugar. Sometimes raisins for people to get and sprinkle on the top. How would it be low enough to minimize the cost of holding stock, but at the same time high enough to facilitate continuous production and business activities? Remember, the rotation or the stock that you keep on hand cannot be overdone, because that is just dead inventory. Really, you can count it as dollar amount, but money is sitting on the shelf not being used. Effects of wrong stock levels, just what we're going to be talking about. Too much stock. Storage cost may be very high. Occupancy space or the premises of which can be used in more productive ways. Unsold stock is there in exchange and demand for increased competition in the market. The business also runs the risk of theft. Boy, I think that's one of the biggest keys in a restaurant or a hotel. Overstock. People see that it's too much, they can just pick one up. If there isn't enough stock, the business may not be able to facilitate an unexpected increase in demand. If deliveries are delayed or a supply faced a shortage, low stock levels may result in a halt of a production of a certain item. The business is unable to take advantage of buying a bulk, such as discounts and developing economic of scale. Maybe thinking of what you need to get done. Supply and demand, the delicate balance of supply and demand. So making sure the local restaurants and catering industry continue to bloom. Hotels and eatery, especially that discerning in the demands of ingredients, both in range and quality. While foreign food brands are devising new means to promote their product on a local market. When opening a restaurant or a bakery, consider supplying a product that may be in demand. When it is demand, you will be allowed to sell it for more. So what would you say if you are in the Austin area? What would be one of the criteria for a restaurant in demand in Austin? Anybody has any idea? What would you say? Anybody? Randall?
Health conscious restaurants.
Health conscious restaurants, correct? So what are the items that you're going to be needing for that? Dahlia, it was good to see you. We missed you yesterday.
Miss you too.
Yeah, I know you did. Did you enjoy it though while you missed us?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Well, that's the key word, isn't it? To
Yes.
make sure. I know, Roro, you can smile all you want. But that's good. Andre, good morning. Your picture's not up there, Andre.
Good morning, Chef.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good. We missed your
Awesome.
picture up there. You had just have a blank spot.
You know.
I know, I got it. Okay. So what does that mean? Specialty items, a lot more. Do you think that you could take a vegan aspect and go in another town that is not so uppity or young as Austin is and use it? What do you think?
Yeah. Yes, because it's in demand right now. It's like the new wave, you know. Everybody's getting health conscious with their.
I don't think health consciousness is just subject to Austin.
Think all over?
Yes.
Really? So you would think that if I was going, I'm just going to be talking, I'm a devil's advocate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm just going to bring up some stuff. How about Florida? Do you think it would be a big item in Florida?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
That's really interesting to find out. What do you
Well,
think,
I'll
Chef
say-
Cliff?
I know for sure everybody's not health conscious. I know I have family members who don't eat fruits and vegetables, who barely drink water. So not everyone, a lot of people love the cheeseburgers and greasy pizzas and everything. So
Yeah. I would not, I would think, I believe that the health conscious in Austin is much higher than other places, really. Just
Especially
look at an
Florida.
overall picture. Say it again, Loretta.
Especially Florida. Florida is a retirement community, a large retirement community. So they're older. I don't think older people are as health conscious as younger people.
As tuned in? Huh.
I lived in KC before I moved down here, and I don't think I could name one vegan restaurant now that I think about it.
Where's that?
Kansas City.
Oh, Kansas. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think being new to Austin, I mean, I love it because I think it's a diversity and I think it's another aspect of eating healthy. I think that, I think Austin being weird, as we would say, is bringing that on. I think maybe we will be a trender of expressing it to other states to make sure that the culinary aspect of different restaurants in different parts of the United States will make a difference. I think overall, I think it's going to grab, but I think it's going to take a little time, really. But I'm hoping that it does, because I think the food is excellent and it really transmits to wanting to pay attention to what we eat and how healthy we get the vegetables. And I mean, how healthy, how fresh we get the vegetables. Remember, farm to table. I think America is going to really wake up on the farm to table aspect of what life should be and what it was 50 years ago, more so than it was today, the last couple of years. You agree with me there? Okay, thank you though, Lila, appreciate it.
No problem.
I hope it goes in that trend, but I don't think that places like Florida, that maybe Miami, don't misunderstand me, but I think in like Key West and stuff, that what they just want you to enjoy the sun and enjoy it. I don't think that Key West would be more so, but I think Miami being a city and the young people downtown and Fort Lauderdale and stuff may have some that people want to come to. Women when it is in demand, you'll be allowed to sell it for more when ingredients are scarce. Sometimes the price of food costs go up, allowing you to change more as it creates a supply and a demand. You can keep going up, Sheffy. Thank you. Remember, Twinkies, after the company stopped making them, a box of Twinkies was selling for $200 on eBay. Supply was down, demand was up, and price went up. I don't know if I'd pay $200 for a box of Twinkies. Would any of you pay $200 for a box of Twinkies? Yay or nay? Nay. I would definitely say nay, you know, but that's the way it is. All right, supply and demand. The next slide, Chef. Thank you. All the things that we will demand and get. Keep going. Purchasing and inventory. Good purchasing procedures will identify and reduce potential waste before it enters your business. Good purchasing procedures. Understanding what you have on hand to make anything work. So, next one, please, Chef. Receiving procedures.
Sorry, I'm putting in the attendance and texting.
Oh, it's
people.
fine.
My
That's fine.
apologies.
No, don't apologize for anything. Good receiving procedures will prevent acceptance of shipment, which is off specs, incorrect or improperly packaged, reduce unnecessary waste generation, return, and spills. Make sure you have a receiving person. Pay him more money, guys, because I'm telling you, that is a part that really makes yay or nay for money. Your money. You're working hard for that money. And people can send you a package and it's broken and things are leaking. It's not acceptable. So making sure you have receiving. Next one, Chef, please. When receiving food, inspect every delivery for damages, quality, signs of pests, and usually unusual temperatures, that the food should be refrigerated or is usually warm. It means that something was wrong with the refrigerating unit in the delivery truck, or that of the shipment wasn't refrigerated at all. The shipment should be rejected, making sure the butter is leaking all over the place. How about a container of oil? Really, I'm telling you, that's one of the biggest ones that they have. Fact, in those big 5-gallon things, and they got a hole in it. Been sitting there, send it back. Even if it's a little bit off the top, you're paying your money for that. Reject it to make sure. The next one, Chef. So, understanding storage, proper storage. Remember, if you have too much quantity of your product, how much space is it taking? Really? Because you might not have enough space to store a lot of stuff. Remember, space costs you money. If you have an overabundance, you're going to put it someplace else. You're taking away from something else. Storage, proper storage of food immediately after it's received and checked in, important factor in the preservation of control of loss or waste. Perishables need to be placed immediately in a refrigerator or frozen storage. Staples should be stored in an ordinary and systematic arrangement. Food should be protected from pests, rodents, and insects. Some places don't have a problem with that at all. Storage should have a low humidity and proper ventilation to prevent spoilage. How much air is going into place? Circulated air. Pests are going to come in somehow or the other. If you're taking care of, if you have bug people, and then one next door to you does not have in a strip, does not take care of it, it's eventually going to get to you. To make sure. The next one, Chef. So, storing. The single most important part of storing properly is labeling food. Everything has to be labeled. Every ingredient or dish stored must be labeled with its name, user date. What does user date mean? Usually 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. For food in a refrigerator, must be labeled with a name and used by date. It is also helpful to mark the date when the item was received. Makes an organization easier. Generally, you store TCS, ready to eat food, for up to 7 days.
What does TCS mean? Anybody?
Time control substance?
Temperature control.
Temperature control.
Yep, thank you.
Close.
So understanding where you are putting the item that needs to be taken care of. Remember, dry storage, refrigeration, or freezer. Food should be stored and used according to the principle of first in, first out. Use food for the closest to expiring. This is easier if you know the date coming in. The property that I work for always had a date in with a marker on the can. Always. Marker, mark it in. That's why a person in receiving is so important. Those little things make a difference. To understand how everything is working in your kitchen. Food must be stored in an original container until used. Once you open that seal of that container, it has to be refrigerated or taken care of. Food containers should be durable, leak-proof, and sealable. Today, I mean, we are fortunate enough that we can get containers to use over and over again. Mise en place cups, measuring, remember? 1 cup, 2 cup, 4 cup. Gives us a life a little bit easier than when I worked in a kitchen. It was only things we had were Lexans, and they cost a lot of money. Today we are fortunate enough to have and buy things that are controllable. Chemicals should be kept in their original label container and disposed of according to that label. Food, chemicals, and linen should get their own storage areas, all three of which should be separate from food prep areas, always. We know that in our kitchen, we have the front line that we can go and get what we want, and the back where we keep our chemicals to get it done. To understand how dangerous it is to have chemicals near our food. Okay, Chef. Food, linens, and single-use items should be stored away from the walls and 6 inches off the floor. Keep them away from dirt, moisture, and pets. Look at the floor on some of these storerooms. Not as an example, the one on the left. You don't think that the cucarachas won't come and see some of that if it's just left there? They'll understand. In a refrigerator, the most hazardous food should be the one on the bottom and the least hazardous food on the top. This is based on internal cooking temperatures. The food with the highest internal cooking temperature should be on the bottom. In the fridge containing poultry, meat, and vegetables, the poultry should be on the bottom and the vegetables should be on the top. With the meat in the middle, hazardous or risk foods are most likely to not only spoil, but also drip down to the other foods, contaminating them. So we're talking about poultry on the bottom, ground meat, pork, seafood, fruit, and prepared foods on the top. Label all the foods clearly. Use first in, first out system of what we do. We're really fortunate, really, guys, that we have a walk-in that gives us more room to do anything. Storage temperatures. Perishable food should be kept outside of the danger zone, 42 to 135. Whenever possible, usually what means storing is below 41 Fahrenheit, but might also mean keeping them above 135 if you are hot holding it for service. Eggs can be stored at 45 or below. Dry storage should be between 50 and 70. How do we control that? Is there a heating element in the wall, air conditioning unit that we can control, circulating the air? Unless it is kept below 41 to keep the pests out. So now we're understanding that if we keep it below 41, you're not going to have a bug problem in that area. Poultry and making all the danger zones. Remember, egg dishes, ground beef, 160, 165 for poultry, 145 for beef, pork, roast, steaks, and chips, and chops, sorry. 140 ham, fully cooked to reheat. Danger zone doesn't exceed more than 2 hours when you're catering, to make sure. Yes, Chef. Check the temperatures of the storing area at the start of each shift. Each area should have a hanging thermometer in it, so employees can check the temperature. Avoid overloading the coolers, fridges, and freezers that the air does not circulate for the entire room to contain. Keep the food cold. Don't leave the door open, since it lets in warm air. What is another thing, guys, that you don't want to do too much sometimes, and we do it all the time? It's something that everybody does in a kitchen, I promise. What do you all think that is not a good idea? Anybody have an idea? Anybody? Anything? Anybody want to say something? Good morning, James. Good to see you.
Chef, one thing I can think of is people drinking out of the meat cups.
Yeah, but let me tell you, what happens when you remember, say you're, I'm going to be just talking a little bit. Say if you're, for me, if you are at the end of the day and you've made stock for how long? All morning long, right? Because it takes a long time to boil down the stock. And you come in the next day and oh my gosh, I forgot to put that stock away and it's still hot. What happens? You take that stock and you put it in a refrigerator, and that steam, because you're supposed to cool it down, right? So we put it in the sink with ice, we can do it that way. But a lot of people say, oh no, I'll just go put it away in the refrigerator. If it doesn't have enough time to have circulation around it, it really brings down that refrigerator. Has anybody seen that to understand it? So what happens to that refrigerator?
Temperature changes.
The temperature changes. So you really need to think on what is the other products that you're putting in there that you're taking it away from. If it's a big walk-in, it's a little bit more acceptable because there's a lot more space to cool it that is cool. But if you're talking about a small refrigerator and you're putting in a hot, steamy pot because you got to get out the door because you're not going to come back for overnight, that's an issue. So all the other stuff that you have in that cooler, even if it's just butter, what is it going to do? Start to kind of thaw out. So those are the things that have to be paid attention to.
Does that make the chicken broth or the broth spoil?
It could. Because if it's still hot inside, I mean, temperature danger zone, you got to get it get it cold or below temperature danger zone within what, 2 hours? So if it's a big pot, let's say, and you put it in the cooler, it's going to cool from the outside in, right? So it's going to take a while for it to, I've seen it still like 70 degrees, like if I walk in the morning or something and someone put something like, let's say tomato sauce in the fridge, right? In a big old pot. And then I stick a thermometer down there, it's still like 70 degrees and it's been sitting there overnight, in the cooler. So yeah, I mean, the bacteria will start to grow and it's not a good thing.
That's why they always say, get it in the sink and ice it down first. If it's a volume one, if it's a big pot, it takes a long time for the center of it to cool down. Loretta, do you understand?
I do.
So
I think
you got
to, with gumbo,
yeah,
a lot of people make gumbo and they wonder why it's spoil. And I know that's one of the reasons, they try to cool it down too.
For sure. And especially with what's in it, usually chicken, you've got seafood, sausage, all of that sort of stuff. And that can spoil real fast.
Really think about how you cool your items down. All parts of storage areas should be cleaned regularly. Walls, floors, shelving. We get so busy that we don't pay attention. But remember, if you're having a receiving person, he should be in charge of all of that. So you have one person receiving all the product, putting it away, and making sure the storeroom looks good. And the refrigerators look good. That's a good deal. That's his responsibility or her responsibility. Anything used to transport food should be cleaned, dollies, carts, and so on. The containers themselves should be cleaned and sanitized before being used. Remember, 3-compartment sinks, a necessity in a bakery or in a kitchen, sorry. Glasses and cups should be stored upside down, and utensils should be stored standing up, handles up, so that staff can pick them up without touching where the food is going to be touched. Food contact services, sanitary equipment should be covered until ready to use to make it sure. Storing and cleaning supplies. When storing cleaning tools, hang mops, brooms and brushes on hooks to dry. Clean and rinse buckets. Let them air dry and store them. Dry air towels overnight. All cleaning should be properly labeled and stored in original packaging. Making sure that there's a shelf of the rate of what we use. How important is that? We try to hang our mops and our brooms. At the school, we put them against the side of the mop sink. Take them off instead of hanging them up to utilize it. Next one, Chef. To understand. As anyone who has worked in food storage can tell you, the safe storage of food is a warehouse can be a difficult business. Properly storing food can pose a massive health and safety hazard to both customer workers, to say nothing of the loss of revenue. Again, it's your money. Do you see that trash can? It's half that money going out the door. Loss of revenue can bring in what you can throw out, all the spoiled food to make it work. So make sure you think and utilize what we're doing. While every warehouse is different, there are still some commonly used issues that arise in the food storage that every warehouse should avoid to make it work. I love the wheels on those carts in the storerooms.
I do too. And I was just
I tell
thinking
ya.
we need those on everything at the school for sure.
Yeah, I love those wheels because it really helps a lot in different aspects of what we're doing instead of being stationary. Control temperature, light, moisture in your storeroom. Temperature, light, and moisture are 3 of the biggest factors in keeping foods from spoiling in your storeroom. These conditions can impact your supply. You need to know how to control them in your storage space. Look around, think where you are. Improper temperature control, the first, biggest, and most messed up step in the food storage. Ensuring everything is set to the correct temperature. This is caused by a few things. Freezers not working properly. Too much moisture. How many times have you come in a freezer and there's moisture on the ceiling, dripping? One of those reasons are the hot pots that are in there, controlling the condensation. How do you say that word? Condensation.
Condensation.
Improperly sealed doors, letting too much air, warm or cold air, into the temperature controlled area, or vents being blocked from distributing air properly. Make sure you do not check make sure you do check all the seals and vents in the given area. Take some time to make sure that your industrial storage isn't hampering air circulation. And remember to check what temperature each product needs to be stored at to keep everything safe and completely and correctly maintained. Really an important factor, because that's what you're going to be using. You don't want people to get sick. Remember what I said to you, and I'm saying it again. People are so happy today. They love to report people for food poisoning. They love to report people when something is not right. The cha-ching factor is an important factor in it. It's really sad to say that. Really sad, because I want them to come and have an experience at your restaurant. But you do have to be very careful with people. And they're lovable. I'm not saying that we don't like them. We want them. The ideal temperature for a storeroom contains dry goods between 50 and 70 degrees. The hotter the space, the faster your food spoils. Your foods can spoil, especially canned goods. It is beneficial to keep a thermometer in your storeroom so you can always monitor the temperature and prevent spoiling. You think that you've got a can of anything in your storeroom and it gets really hot in there. Do you think just because it's in a can, it's okay? Not necessarily. Lights not only impact the temperature, but it also can oxidize food. Oxidation, large impact of fat and pigments. When fat is oxidized, the food nutrient value degrades and the food eventually becomes rancid. When pigment is oxidized, food can lose their natural color and look faded and tinted gray. This can ruin the appearance of your food and may cause customers to be displeased with their meals. As a result, it is best to keep your storeroom dark. Ideal. Food storage room should be free of windows that have artificial light and are only on when the employee is present in the room. How many people I know in the hotel business, I know when we walk in a room, we turn the light on in the storeroom to use it. Not so much at restaurants, I would say more so because they don't have space. Remember, restaurants hands-on is limited space because of the cha-ching factor. How much space you have in a restaurant is you're paying for it. Usually the kitchens are smaller than the upfront. How many of you realize that? The back of the house is really small. This much space for you to work, this much space for another person to work. Hotels, we have more leniency because the hotels has got a big space, big tables, big rooms. But in a restaurant world, restaurants atmosphere, very small, limited space. Moisture can create environments where mold and bacteria flourish, since both of these can be harmful to your ingredients and supplies. It is best to keep the moisture level in your storeroom under control. In some of the cases, moisture can be caused for your shelves to rust and damage the food they hold. Using a dehumidifier system for your storeroom has excess moisture taken out. And be sure to empty and clean the dehumidifier regularly. Don't let it drip all over the floors to make it work. Standing water and high humidity. Check your leaks and your crack in the walls to prevent water coming in on the outside to make sure that all the temperature controls are set properly to avoid humidity. Puddles of water. What then grows when you have puddles of water? Anybody have an idea? What grows?
Mold.
Mold. So it's kind of really, really difficult. And when you have mold, it's not a healthy thing, not for you, not your patrons, not anybody. So make sure you keep that in control. My goodness, we're up to 21. I'm so proud. I'm so glad to see it. I need to see more people's faces though. What about cross-contamination? Much like a kitchen, there are certain products that need to be kept away from the others to prevent health and contamination issues. Check the guidelines, provide every item in your storeroom to make sure that they are known and where are they stored. When you're taking inventory, guys, and which you should be taking inventory every week or once a month, remember you've hired that person to take care of a receiving. Guess what he can do? Inventory. You know, he is exactly like a chef online. Here's a person that supports the whole kitchen. Really hard to do sometimes if it's if a lot of products come in. Check the guidelines, provide every item in the store to make sure that they have and where they're stored. What foods can be kept next to what foods and cannot avoid germs, avoid odors, germs or odors spreading around. Avoid trying to keep everything at NSF shelf. What does that mean? To ensure possible contamination or keep it in place and all products are fresh as possible. So we need to know wheels so we can move it around to make sure. The next one, Chef. What does NF stand for? Or NFF, International, or formerly known as the National Sanitation Foundation. It is not for profit organization that provides healthcare and safety risk management solutions. Among these solutions, NSF International provides standards of development and product certification. Food service and restaurant supplies products that are certified for NSF undergo and have passed an evaluation to ensure that the product and the facility where the product is made meets NSF standards for food safety. NSF standards are generally accepted by the government and regulatory agencies. So it's an approved system to make it work by the government regulatory agency. Improper product rotation. Keep your eye on expiration dates, shipping dates, sell-by dates to make sure the food that needs to be on the shelf can go and avoid spoilage or lingering in the warehouse too long. First come, first out. First in, first out. Remember, look at all the products that people have to do. Again, who's the person in charge of that? Receiving. Really a big factor. I don't think some people realize what a person that brings it in, how it can help you tremendously. Receiving it, not accepting it, making sure your dollar amount count, putting it away. Inventory, regulate the refrigerators, make sure. How about the freezers? Keep them clean. One person. If it's a big facility, you would have one leader and one helper. Big aspect of it. The storeroom is one of your restaurant's most important spaces. As a result, having disorganization or unsanitary store space can be trouble when it comes time to prepare for the inspection or inventory of your supplies. Health department loves storerooms, refrigerators. Additionally, an untidy storeroom can comprise of ingredients waste, your company's time, food cost, and your restaurant's money. Remember that. An important factor. The next one, Sheffy, please. Again, remember FIFO to ensure that your food doesn't go bad before you use it. Every time you get a new supply in, your place a new product should be behind your existing stock to make sure that the older items are used first. When your employees go to the storeroom to pick up ingredients, they will receive the older stock because it's readily accessible. As a result, all your food will have decreased risk of spoiling on the shelf, and you can reduce the food waste in your restaurant. This method of organization may be tedious, but in the stocking world and new deliveries, it can save you a lot of money involved. And the chef reaches an ingredient that is left and all this left is expired stock, rotating it in the refrigerator. How much stock do you use? A lot on the front line use different kinds. There's veal stock, there's chicken stock, there's beef stock, fish stock. What about vegetable stock, which is really popular now? To make sure, label all the ingredients. Have a pen on your lapel when you get a jacket, if you have a uniform. These are just standards that we keep going over. When arranging ingredients in your store space, treat the storeroom like a supermarket. Create a standardized labeling system for all your stock so employees can find what they're looking for when they're in a rush, which they usually are. To avoid confusion, mark all the labels either up or below the product on the shelf. Not only do these labels help your staff members to find them, they also are reminders of what the kitchen needs when they are reordering supplies. Remember what we used to do in our storeroom with red labels that needed to be used right away. So somebody that came into that storeroom knew exactly what we need to get rid of. And making a special for the day. So we can utilize the money instead of wasting it. Utilizing your money instead of wasting it. Next one, Chef. Using restaurant shelving. What kind of shelving are you going to use? If you're going to invest, spend $10 more and get something that's stable instead of falling over. Maybe when you first begin, you've got to go with what you got. To make the most of your restaurant storage space, it is best to find shelving made of durable material that can stand sturdy and stay sanitary in your storeroom. These units get your food supplies off the floor. How many inches off the floor? Anybody know?
6.
That's right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And how many away from the wall?
3.
Make sure. Yep. Why do we take it away from the wall? Anybody know? Why do we have the storage shelves away from the wall? So the critters,
The bugs.
the bugs. So if we try to eliminate them by taking it off the floor and away from the wall. What else happens around the wall, guys, if we're going to be away from the walls? What about leaking from the ceiling?
Mold.
Mold. Kind of keep it clean. While it is easy to overlook them as an important feature in your establishment, chefs can help you hinder punctuality for your storeroom. For example, shelves that make it possible for you to effectively organize ingredients for ease of access. On the other hand, it can also damage your stock. They can also damage your stock and violate codes if selected improperly. Before you outfit your storeroom, make sure you learn all about different types of shelving. Okay. Organize your supply by categories. Once you have selected the proper shelving for your storeroom, it is important to think on how you would position your supplies. Arrange your ingredients by the use of type to help your employees easily locate them during a busy meal service. For instance, put all your spices in one place, organize all your baking ingredients in another. Separate tools can be used for dining entrees, for example, if you're going to use breakfast service. Additionally, keep cleaning sanitation supplies from the ingredients that they could contaminate them. Also considering putting valuable equipment and ingredients in the locked cabinet or a separate storeroom that is only accessible to certain employees. This is particularly helpful with bar supplies. You can help prevent theft by storing mixers, liquor, garnish supplies behind locked doors. Kind of sad to do that in this world today, but it comes to a necessity of people trying to survive also. Yes, Chef. To make sure. Right, find the best layout for your food. Up. I've already said all of that, Chef. Storeroom. While grouping your supplies by category, it is a great way of getting organized. And it's also important to consider the layout of your space to maximize or optimize flow and easy for access. For example, making your shelves accessible from both front and back can help it time to load for new stock. FIFO system. In the same way, heavy equipment and ingredients that are frequently used should be stored at the back of the space before you set your storeroom. Think about your kitchen staff will be retrieving the most often and popular items positioned on your layout. How do we want that? How many people work somewhere where their storeroom is fabulous? Anybody? James, how's yours?
Not terrible.
Huh?
Not terrible.
Terrible? Good. Acceptable?
Yeah, not terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. Acceptable, that means.
Yeah.
How about you, Marcus? How's yours?
Oh, I've seen generally really good ones.
Do they have a store? Do they have a store person in charge of everything?
No, actually, for at least the places that I've worked at, it was generally the responsibility of everyone to keep on tabs with the storage room. So there's always there's just a general idea that everybody wants to stay vigilant of what's going on in the storeroom. Everybody wants to be wiping down. Everybody wants to stay vigilant of any sort of messes or spills that's going on. And it's really just a team responsibility to keep that thing in check.
How about the hotel? Didn't they have a person that was in the storeroom, head storeroom?
No, yeah, like I said, it was pretty much a team responsibility. I mean, in the hotel, there was 30 plus people in that kitchen at the same time. So it was just everybody keep on top of it and make sure it looks good. And it was always looking fantastic.
Wow, really impressive then. So that means good leadership and followership of the team.
It was very good.
Yeah. So really, so when they hired people, they knew what to look for in a team player.
Well, actually, it was mostly a J1 applications. I mean, the hotel ran a very big J1 program, recruiting people internationally. But I mean, those people were there to be there, so they had a pretty good idea of, listen to the guy who's in charge.
Yes, chef and no chef.
That was real big.
Yeah. It's a great world, isn't it? I love out of respectability of putting people in place that know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting to see.
Yeah, it is. And then you know what? Then they become your mentors. And that is a great aspect of this kind of business. I think James feels the same way with him working down where he is. He finds out where good leadership is. If there's not good leadership, then you can be all over the place. That true, James?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I've worked in only 2 kitchens, but I've been lucky enough that the chefs that I've had and been able to work under so far have been really not really good ones. Not ugly chefs. The typical, like I've worked for a French chef that was a Parisian chef, and that he wasn't as bad as the reputation of angry French chefs come across.
Yeah. But that's a really important factor because, I mean, I've worked for some chefs that are really
intense.
I think I only had one chef. Well, I haven't had too many jobs because I'm not a mover, okay? So for me, I've only had one chef that I would consider, he didn't say too much to me, but he did say he was pretty nasty to some people that I had to take him in the office and tell him, cool it. And I'm maybe underneath him, but I made sure that he understood that that wasn't the way to do it. And so he was a younger chef, and he thought he knew it all, and he wanted to impress people. And for me to impress somebody doesn't mean anything. For me to show me what you do and show me how to do it, and I love it better. And if you can give that as a great example of what you do to impress somebody, is what you do, not talk what you do. Do you get what I'm saying? And do what I do, but do what I'm telling you to do is a different story. So for me, I need people to be hands-on to make sure people are aware of what they're doing and how they're doing it right. So consider putting the supplies where you use most of the front of the storeroom, and your restaurants carry out meals. Put your takeout containers near the door so you can always be prepared for packaging for customers' food. As previously mentioned, it can be helpful to group ingredients together and often use in the same dish. So this being said, don't let this arrangement cause confusion. And be careful not to store alike ingredients like salt and sugar too close to each other. I've done it. People think that they've got sugar in their hand and they've got salt, and they put the salt in as sugar. How many of you have mistaken anything by yourselves, or have everybody been so fabulous and so great that they don't make mistakes?
Yeah, when you mentioned that, I remember one time I was boiling beets for a salad that we were doing, and it was supposed to be sugar and lemon juice. I did like a whole cup of salt and the lemon juice, and I tasted it after, and I was like, oh my God. So now I always taste the white grain that I'm putting in everything to make sure it's still salt.
Correct. It's happened. It's not happened to anybody else? Anybody else? Nothing? God, you guys are perfect.
It's never happened to me, but it happened to my dad once.
Yep. So you guys are way ahead of me then. I have to really work harder at my job then, I guess, huh? As previously mentioned, it can be helpful for group ingredients, right? Making the same dish. As being said, don't let this arrangement cause confusion. Salt and sugar too close to one another. Even if labeling systems in place, mistakes can happen during mealtime rush. People not thinking and grabbing the container. So chef, I think we will have a 15-minute break. What do you think? Are we good with that? I'm not hearing from you. Okay. Speaker not working? Okay. Anybody have anything? James, I have that name of that restaurant for you.
Oh, awesome.
For what we talked about yesterday. It's Walton's.
Walton's, okay. I've heard of that.
Right downtown. It's really worth investigating. I don't know about the food so much as the atmosphere that you need to, not atmosphere, the way it's set up. It's really really interesting way of doing.
Just like the
from the table and all working together to make it, because there's so many different compartments in a small space.
Yeah, and it's downtown, right? You said.
It's if you look it up on your phone,
Yeah, I will. Let's see.
it's really well done. Very well done. And the other person, the other name that I was.
It's on West 6. Yeah, yeah.
West 6. Is it? Because you know what I do, and maybe I should tell you this, but when I used to take my students there, because I want them to understand, you're not going to believe how small that kitchen is.
Really?
And I mean, they produce a lot out of that. You know what I mean? Excuse me, behind the person, you know, kind. They produce.
I'm looking at the picture of their dishes too. Their brunch looks really good.
Do you understand? It's really a great farm to table, giving back to the community kind of restaurant. And they supply a lot of bread for a lot of other restaurants.
Their eggs Benedict looks incredible. The homemade English
Look
muffin.
great. Doesn't it look good?
Yeah, yeah.
So I used to take my students there, and we used to park at Whole Foods. So you can do this. Park at Whole Foods, because you know downtown parking is not that easy.
Okay.
Park at Whole Foods and walk by. You know, Hut's closed, and that was a sad Austin thing.
Right.
Did you ever eat there?
I did. So me and my wife lived here about 6 years ago now, and yeah, that is unfortunate. That was a cramped little spot.
Yeah, really cramped, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it's an Austin kind of thing.
Very Austin. Yeah, that's sad that they're not having. Man, their macaroons at Walton look incredible.
They are. My recipe. No.
Really?
Yeah. They were my students, so they're really good. And and I'm not saying that in my name again. I'm not saying that because you know what? I can give you a recipe and you follow it, and it's.
Yeah.
So it depends on how each person interprets and how they make it work in that oven. Remember, the first thing you got to do when you get in a kitchen. What do you think you got to do when you get in a kitchen? Anybody know?
Turn the oven on.
I like you already. Well, I already liked you before, but I like you even more. Why? Because it makes you think. What is the first thing you got to do? The first thing before turning on the oven. What is the first thing you got to do?
The vent hoods?
No. Well, understanding that oven, but you got to marry it, have a relationship with it. You got to have an affair with it. If you don't have an affair with an oven, if you're in a baker or baking, what happens? You got to know if it burns on one side. Do you turn your product on every 15 minutes or every 10 minutes? What is the result? Is it ooh and ah of what you produce? If you just stick it in there and you say, oh, it says 20 minutes, I'm not going to take it out in 20 minutes. Well, I'm going to tell you, your name is going to be grass pretty soon, because it might not take 20 minutes for it to bake, because each oven has its own mind, and then you have a relationship with each oven individually.
I baked some homemade sourdough bread last night, Chef.
Well, good. I can smell it.
Oh, it was the best.
Was it good?
I did that and homemade pasta. The wife was pleased.
Was she pleased? Well, anything to please the wife. It's a good one. You're a good man.
That's right.
That's what I keep telling my husband. He's good to me. So, after 50 years, what can you do?
Oh my gosh, 50 years.
Yeah, I ain't starting again. I guarantee you.
You're not looking to start over anytime soon?
No, it's been a phenomenal life, and I've been blessed. I'm not going to tell you it's been easy. Sometimes it isn't easy. Not in fighting or anything, but everything. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Life is not easy. You can't. But you know what? You can't give up. You've got to work together, because if you work it out, then everything works. Everything works out great for the year and for later on.
Yeah.
It becomes a little bit easier. And you become friends. You got to be best friends first, because if you're not friends first, then you're shit off the pot.
Me and my wife have known each other since we were 14.
Wow.
Yes.
That is something.
So we're definitely buddies.
Yep, that's awesome. I I want people to understand and not give up. I want people to get to know each other and work at it. And where is Loretta? Is she taking a break? Yeah, let her take a break, because I've got the other name for her is Vanilla Orchid.
Oh, so I guess Walton's is like a flower shop too, it looks like.
It's a florist. I mean, it has some antiques in it. It is like a sandwich shop.
A deli. Yeah.
It's phenomenal. It's really well done.
Very cool. Yeah, it looks like they've got like stationery and like,
yeah, it has everything. It's just a little gift shop.
Yeah.
Go in there. But it has so many different ways to make it work. Do you get what I'm saying? So
and you said it's Sandra Bullock or that owns that, or is it?
She and her sister own it. I think Sandra has the money for it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know what? She's giving back. She's giving it to the family.
Oh, really? Very cool. Why the name Walton?
I have no idea. I don't have an idea of that.
Yeah.
I never really, I should have looked it up, but maybe I did know at one time, but I don't know now.
I wonder if that's like her maiden name or something. Well, I
Yeah,
guess,
or maybe it was her grandpa's name.
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I thought I knew at one time because I knew them all pretty well. And they used to let us come in there, and I mean, they have great coffee. Did you see the menu on the wall, how beautifully it's done?
See, and I was looking for pictures of the interior. All the pictures are just of the
baked.
Yeah, and the baked goods. Yeah.
Yeah, but does it show you the wall behind it? No. Really? Because that's what they used to show before. Go in there and you'll be overwhelmed at how beautifully the menus are put on the wall.
Let's see.
A lot of brick, a lot of the building brick, and I love that. See, I love this. There's no ceiling tile. It's like sprayed over the ductwork.
I'm pulling up all the pictures from Yelp now. Oh, their menu's huge.
Yeah, look at it.
Yeah. Oh, and I just see what you're saying with the brick. I do like the brick.
I love it.
Yeah, that's very cool.
And they do they do wedding flowers. Just think about delivering a cake with wedding flowers and doing the cake. Just think.
That's and as someone who's coming up on their 3rd year of marriage, I still remember my wedding, and the one-stop shop aspect of things pretty nice. That's smart. And I saw one of their wedding cakes too. That was they do catering. Really? So they literally do it all. How many employees do you think they have?
Well, I'm gonna say about 15.
Okay. All right. So yeah. Ooh. So not bad. Yeah. See, now I'm seeing all the pictures from Yelp instead of that they put out.
Yeah. They're well done, put together.
The French toast is like 2 inches thick.
Oh, I know.
Huge.
I know. Yeah, I know. It's a great place to represent Austin.
It is very Austin-y, talking about, like, yeah.
So that's a really, and I told you the other one, you got to go to Vivo if you like Mexican food.
Yeah.
You got to go there. I mean, and just look at it. I mean, you're not losing anything but $12 for a meal or $10 for a meal. You're not losing that kind of money.
Yeah, you're not breaking the bank over anything.
Not spending a lot of money, That's the way I do today, because a lot of people, we all live in a budget.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody has to, we're not all millionaires. Otherwise, we wouldn't be teaching probably, which is sad because that's what I love to do, is teach. Or I just love to have people around me to get a wow factor for them.
Yeah.
My ideas are make a bug in their hair to investigate. That's what it is. It's a bug kind of world to investigate. Like my husband says that when I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, I could do it that way when I cater this weekend.
Oh my God.
Enough is enough. You know what I mean? It's just something that stimulates me to make me think.
You have trouble turning it off?
I can't turn it off.
Yeah. God, I couldn't imagine with you with 20 cups of coffee in you.
Yeah. Ask Chef Miguel sometime.
Golly.
We both busted butt. We both worked 46 days straight without a day off.
That's awesome.
No, and we're talking about 16-hour days. And, and it's, I don't want you to do that really in a way, because it's really hard on the people that are left at home. My husband, he's my rock, and he had to put up with that. But that was a time that we didn't, we just came to Austin, didn't have nothing.
Right.
I mean, we came from another part of Texas, but it was really difficult. So, he had a job and stuff, and our kids had just left the house, like we were first free to come in. And it's really difficult. And so that's why I'm saying, you've got to take things into consideration and think about what you want to do.
Yeah, that me and the wife are kind of going through some of that, trying to figure all that out now. We just got a house this week. So we'll be moving into a house here in the next month. And
oh, isn't that exciting?
oh yeah, we're everything's getting kickstarted. She's baby hungry, and
oh, that's wonderful.
Well, so yeah, life's definitely getting started, that's for sure.
Keep a smile and say thank you. That's all you can say.
Yeah,
every day.
a lot of head nods.
Yeah, don't forget to say thank you.
Yeah, that's a good tip. That's a very good tip.
Really every day say thank you, dear Lord, and no matter who your Lord is, I'm not interested to know who your Lord is.
Sure.
What you believe in, that's not my forte, or what you do, but make sure you're always grateful for what you have and everything. And look at this one, eating a cereal, Robert. Good thinking. Drink it out of the bowl. Your mother taught you well not to waste anything. Matthew, do you do the same thing?
No.
No, of course not. You're so good, Matthew.
Oh, boy.
How you doing, Kendrick? I miss you not saying anything. Can't talk? He's not saying a word. Can you talk? Must be nice not to talk, huh? You don't have a mic? Everybody back? Glad you're all back. Few minutes more, 2 minutes. Chef Cliff, how's your daughter doing with graduation stuff?
She's doing all right. We're just, it is what it is, right?
No, but are they planning to plan it like sometime in July?
Yeah, it's gonna be late. Let me go let my dog out real quick. Hold on a second. Yeah, they're gonna plan it. I can't remember the date, but it's gonna be in the summertime.
Yeah, but they're all gonna get together. I think that officially, I think that I know they're gonna start opening restaurants tomorrow according to capacity, but of 12 people in a restaurant. But I think by June, I think we should be a little bit better off than what we are. Everybody, Loretta, you there?
I'm here, Chef. I was trying to
Okay.
ask you a question.
You want to ask me a question? Talk to me.
I heard you speak of them opening the
Yeah, Vanilla
restaurants.
Orchid.
So what's the regulation? I hadn't heard.
Look, no, that's the lady. Remember what we were talking about catering?
Okay, I'm confused. I was getting ready to.
Vanilla Orchid is the lady for the. Remember, I told you I wanted you to go and talk. Remember? Now is it coming back?
Yes.
Vanilla Orchid.
I had to go take me a 10-minute nap. Suffering.
A 10-minute nap.
Yes.
How can you get up from a 10-minute nap and be?
Oh, I just did. I really did.
You went to sleep?
Yes. Yes.
It takes me an hour, 45 minutes just to go to sleep.
Nope. I hit the
my
couch
gosh.
and I was
That is fabulous. Boy, you're lucky.
So listen, what is the regulation for the restaurants that are opening tomorrow?
They're opening tomorrow and they're supposed to have, you can sit at a table, 4 people can sit at a table together with a mask on, and there's not a law to say you have to wear a mask. I'm just telling you right now, this is the things I heard last night. I don't know if Chef Cliff wants to talk a little bit about it, but you don't have to wear a mask. You can be 4 people, but the tables have to be 5 feet apart. Okay? And that's what they're going to allow.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So remember, a lot of restaurants are not that big. So you might be able to have three tables, 5 tables in a restaurant. That's it, at a time.
Yeah.
That's what I understand. I know some of you don't agree with it. And I understand, totally understand, to make sure of what is going on. So I would say probably another 6 weeks would really help the situation a little bit more, but then you've got to understand, Loretta, there's some people, their livelihood is going away. And in some aspects, then what they need to consider what is important for them, meaning that if they need to have, some people are staying with ordering the food and bringing it out to the car. How many of you have been to a restaurant that's doing that? And seeing it. Yesterday when I went to San Antonio, there was one restaurant that had 20 cars lined up to take orders. 20.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But they're making it. I know a lot of other restaurants that are making it with pick up the food, pick up the service. I told you the other day when I went to West, because you know I have my niece here from the Czech Republic, so I've been kind of showing a little bit. But I went and picked up food at Hyde Miller's in Waco. And I ordered a chicken fried steak. They make the best chicken fried steak there is. And baked potato. I drove all the way home, which is an hour and a half, to find out that they didn't give me the baked potato. I was not a happy camper.
I'm sure.
So, you know, I did call them. I was not a happy camper. But that's okay. That's what makes the world go round. They never called me back. I think they figured they didn't want to hear my voice again. So remember, when you're doing orders, how many times have you been anywhere in a drive up or someplace and you've gone home? You should have looked at the package, but you get home and you haven't got the items.
Right.
Happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to really, and you know, that's my stupidity, because I should have really paid attention to the bag when I got it in the car, because I knew I couldn't come back right away. It would be something that was so long. So consider putting the supplies that you use in front of the storerooms, the restaurant to carry out meals. Remember, previous mention, it can be helpful for groups ingredients. They're often used for the same dishes. That being said, don't let the arrangement cause confusion. Be careful not to store alike ingredients, salt, pepper, sugar, like we talked about. The next one, please, Chef. Make a map of your storeroom. Once you've found the best layout of your storeroom, draw a map so someone knows exactly where or access at the door. It is a particularly helpful if you're large storage space when you go to employees to want to check out quickly. He or she can scan the map before reaching the shelves. New employees would appreciate the guide, making sure you save them the hassle of asking another shelf member where the items are and having trouble finding it. Chef Cliff and myself went to the University of Texas a month ago, and you want to see their storeroom. You need a map to get in there to figure out what kind of stuff that they had. The shelf life of that storeroom underneath a building. Huge, absolutely huge. Need directions on how to get anywhere to get the stuff that they needed to work with. How many kitchens did they have? How much people are they supplying? 5,000 students a day. Do you know how much stuff that you need to have on hand? A lot. And making it feasible, making it acceptable. Temperature control. Freezers, walk-ins. Knowing everything, where everything is. Because of your storeroom in the space that many are not at all, your employees will use it to impressive to walk all new hires through the area. Remember, when a new hire comes in, you can boast about what you run. Make them feel empowered to be there, to be involved, to make it happen. Ensuring that all your staff knows where to put new stock can save you trouble from delivering when delivery comes and you aren't able to be at the restaurant. Training, cross-training, how important is that? We've been talking about that for a couple of days. This last week, making sure everybody understands what each person does. How important is that? Not taking your job away, helping the unit work, helping your team work to make it work, making it easier on each other. There are many things to consider when organizing a restaurant storeroom and having a functional and sanitary storage room. Space, intricate in your kitchen operation. Remember to clearly label your suppliers' priorities on locations and frequently used item control. Environmental conditions, use older stock first. When you find the best layout for your storeroom, stay clean and organized to help your restaurant move both time and money. Remember the units that we have at school, labeled flour, sugar, brown sugar, things that we do. Organize it so we can keep money in control. Your money, that's the key word to make it work. Making it neat, that spice rack at our school really understands. Homework, building a standardized recipe, math calculations, routing conversions, portions and cost control, yield, portion, keep going. Where do we take away from what we learned today? To understand. All I want you to do today, guys, for me, for tomorrow, not for next week, for tomorrow. Get one recipe. I don't care what the yield is. One recipe. One recipe might make, if you want to make one item, meaning for anything else, one recipe. And cost it out to the T. Remember, from beginning to end. We really talked about a menu. This is in preparation for the last project, understanding how to cost a recipe out. Look at the unit price.
I have a quick question. So let's say my menu, I have regular wild buffalo wings and then another type of wings. Since I'm using chicken in both, is that just two or is that just one?
I would like you, so what we're talking about is one plate.
Okay.
So you're gonna just do one item, meaning if you're gonna do buffalo wings and what else on that plate?
Oh, I have two different types of wings, either buffalo wings or regular wings. I was thinking.
I only want one item.
Okay.
Just one menu item on a plate, but don't forget, you've got your sides, you've got your vegetables. You got what I'm saying? So whatever that one plate is, remember, what are you going to do if you're going to be making it in a quantity form of 4 recipes? Remember what your yield is. A yield is, what is a yield? Anybody know? Matthew, tell me what a yield is.
One portion.
It's that one portion.
A yield of a recipe is how many people is it going to feed? Remember, what is the serving size for your plate? What is your serving size usually?
Well, now I got a question. You just said one item, and now you're saying one item, like all the items on a plate. So you want one dish?
That's what
or
I
one
meant.
item.
One dish. I meant to say one dish. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Thank you for being on top of me to make sure that I've taken care of it. Do you get it? So we're talking about one plate or one serving of, now I'm going to go not and say serving. One, how can I say that then? One dish, one serving of one item on your menu.
How about a meal?
The what?
One serving size.
One meal. Maybe that's will be the word that we need to use. Not just meat. I want the sides. I want the vegetables. Okay. Don't forget the garnish. What is the important factor of that? Remember, a garnish is something that kind of arouses people to look at different ways of interpreting something. What could we use as a garnish? Anybody know?
Parsley.
Ugh. It's like using mint on a dessert. It drives me frickin' nuts.
Tarragon?
Yes, girl, you've been listening.
It has no taste though, parsley. That's
So
my
think
go-to.
about what you want to put out to impress somebody else coming across. You know? So I want 1 protein, 1 vegetable, and a side to make that. You might want a few vegetables. Maybe you want a salad. Maybe you want coleslaw. Whatever item that you pick, it doesn't matter to me. 22. I'm proud of you all, guys. Do you all hear me? Thank you. Some of you need to show me your faces. Nigel, Mia, come on. Anthony, stay on.
Chef, are we sending these recipe price outs to Chef Cliff?
Yeah, you can do that, or you can, what do you want to do, Chefy?
They can send it to me.
Okay. All right, thank you. Are you okay? Are you not feeling good?
Yeah, I started feeling nauseous. Just sometimes my medicine that I take.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I think everybody a little bit has a sore throat or something, and they're always scared they're getting it. Have you noticed that? Any of you feel that same thing?
Oh, yeah.
Because I think, really, I'm serious.
It
I
just
really
so
am
happens
serious.
to be like really bad allergy season, so everyone's
Yeah, and I think that's what it is the allergies. And I'm going, yesterday,
Me too.
what did you say, Ivan? Good morning.
Hi.
You're doing
I said-
good?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I said it's also allergy season, so everyone's getting those.
Yeah, because I mean, and I'm saying to myself, I keep doing this because I want to make sure that I'm feeling good. It's a good thing. But everybody understand that? To make it sure? I don't mind. So anybody else have anything? Andrew, are you okay? I see you up there. Trent, you're not there? Are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Okay, your hat off? I need to see your face.
Nope.
Nope.
No.
Okay. But I do need to see you. Andre, you're there? Mia, come on. Anthony, good morning. Yeah, I know. It's a rough morning, isn't it? Your hair looks good, though. Only kidding.
Hold on. There we go. There we go. I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
Yes, it's a very rough morning.
Okay. Understanding a little bit of different things. What else do you think when we're costing out? What do we learn about costing out items? What do we learn? Anybody want to say anything? What did
Every
you
detail
learn?
matters.
Pardon?
Every detail matters.
Every detail matters. Remember that pinch of salt? Don't forget that pinch of salt. Or when you're doing it, taste as you go when you're cooking it first. Don't send out something that you don't know what you're tasting or what it is. Remember, people feel and taste something the same thing as you do. Some people, now I found out this about culinary chefs. There's one thing I have really learned a lot about culinary chefs. A lot of them believe in salting. Have you noticed that? They salt a lot more than anybody else that I know. You agree with me? What do you think, Chef Cliff? You know, it's unbelievable what I thought was enough salt, and it's never enough. So when you ask a chef, what do you think about my food? And their first reaction to you will be, not enough salt. And you think you've already put enough in. Have you come across that yet?
I get that a lot. I have a tendency to undersalt food apparently, and it's something that I didn't really notice, but I notice it, and it's not like not enough salt. It's just not the amount of salt that I thought it should be.
Correct. But overall, I think when they're making a bigger pot and when it gets mixed in really, truly, then the initial flavoring comes back out of that salt or that pepper. How
Or
many
it's
like,
also-
how many like people, yeah. How many
'Cause I
people
know-
like ground pepper versus salt, I mean pepper that you can buy that's already grounded? Do you like it when it's freshly ground?
I like it when it's freshly ground. Yeah.
Makes a difference, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I like it when it makes me cough. That's how you know it's good.
Make what?
Freshly ground pepper makes you cough.
Makes you cough?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it kind of brings some of it together, doesn't it? To make sure. Okay, another question I'm going to ask. How many of you love white pepper?
I like white pepper.
I never
I
really.
love white pepper. I don't know why it makes my food taste better for me than the dark pepper.
It's really
Anybody
good.
tried it? Nope, try it.
It's really good.
It is really, really good. It kind of brings it all together. Chef Cliff, do you like white pepper?
Yeah, I like white pepper.
Okay.
Chef Gary doesn't.
Chef
He
who?
thinks Chef Gary thinks it tastes like dirt.
Oh, does he? Oh, I didn't know that. I mean, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
I think white pepper smells like a hay barn.
Oh, that's
I
another
don't know
input of
about
it.
smell. I'll have to try that myself.
Yeah, I don't know why. I've always thought it smells like a hayloft.
Interesting.
really?
Maybe it's like the same with people who taste cilantro and don't like it because it tastes like something terrible.
Yeah.
The
I like
people
it.
that have the gene where it tastes like soap.
And stuff.
Yep. What other things do you like a lot of when we're doing cooking? Anybody loves garlic?
Nutmeg.
Nutmeg? Did you say nutmeg?
Nutmeg. Nutmeg and mint I found are some of my favorite spices and herbs.
Really?
Yeah, they go really well in surprising places, and I'm using them very effectively.
That's a good point to put out. A lot of nutmeg also in regular cooking, or like you said, in different forms. You'll notice that the countries that you visit to interpret their menus has nutmeg in it. You've noticed that? A lot of Peruvian food has nutmeg in it. A lot of Greek food have nutmeg in it, to make sure. You know, in my country, I'm Czech. And what do we think that we use a lot of? And a lot of Americans don't like it. What would you say that would be? Anybody know?
Fennel?
Caraway seed.
Caraway. I'm not familiar enough with caraway. I have no idea how that
Yeah,
tastes.
and what is the first thing that they think of when they hear caraway seed? Licorice.
Is it licorice?
A lot. It smells a little bit like licorice, and it tastes like licorice. Some people don't like it. How about rye bread? Does anybody love rye bread with caraway seed in it? European kind of
Rye
bread?
bread is fantastic.
Yep. That's the only kind of bread I can eat. I can't eat white bread because it's got too much sponge and gluten in it for me.
Spongy.
It's very spongy. I can't
Spongy's
eat any
good,
of that.
though.
Huh?
Spongy's good though.
Yeah. No, it is. But each person individually likes what they like. You know? I mean, I don't mind French toast with those big Texas style toast, right? Bread. So different types for different things that you can make and do. Trent, are you coming on? I need to see you.
Yes, ma'am. Just 1 second.
Okay. Gotta take your hat off. To make it. Thank you. Victoria, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay, Mia, can you show us? Like to see you.
My camera is on, Chef.
Your camera's not on?
It is.
It is. I wonder why we don't see you.
Yeah, it's been like that for a while. I can't seem to figure out why.
You can't figure it out? Okay. Remember, what is your homework for today? What is your homework? Somebody tell me.
Pricing out a plate consisting of a protein, a veg, and a side.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? I need a starch, I need a vegetable, and I need a protein. I need you to cost it out, not on 2 pages, on 1 page to make it work. Trent, I need to get that done today to send it to me.
All right.
Or no, send it. Chef Cliff, why don't you have them send it to me? So then you don't have to worry about it so much. I think that would be better because I worry that you don't look and feel good. And I know
It's just sometimes when I take an oral chemo pill.
Yeah, I know you do, honey. I know.
Just that day today, it's just not hitting me right.
No, it's all right. I understand. And I just don't want it. So send it to me, pvanbibber@escoffier.edu. No excuses. Andre, do you hear me?
I do, Chef.
Okay, send it to me.
Thank you, Chef.
Yes, sir.
Anthony, remember, send it to me. Ivan, make sure you send it to me. Roro, we had a great talk yesterday. I loved it. Gave you some ideas, didn't it? So that's good. And Stephanie said that she will get in contact with you to talk about what you need to talk about. So that will help you a little bit on that journey.
You gave her my email, Chef?
I got your email.
Did you give it to her to contact me, or how?
Yes,
she
I sure did. I sure did.
Okay, so I could look.
That's why she's going to call you.
Okay.
And get it together.
Thank you, Chef.
You're welcome. Matthew, okay?
Wonderful.
All right. As long as you're wonderful. Are you going to plan on staying there for a little bit before coming home? No, I shouldn't say coming home. No. Remember, you're from. Hey, but I just saw that in North Carolina. You're not going to be able to go to restaurants or do anything over there.
Yeah.
Your governor has put a stop to all of it.
Well, yeah.
You know?
I keep my opinions to myself.
Okay. All right. No, I just saw that on the news yesterday that North Carolina and I think another state, Virginia, is doing the same thing, is not allowing anything till May 18th or something, May 20th, that they're going to decide what they're going to do. Yeah. So I don't want to get into any of that stuff, but I just saw that on the news last night. So that was one of the 2 states that are changing their mind on things like that. But whose train is going by?
That'd be me.
That's your train? Oh, okay. But anyway, any other questions that we have? So I make sure you send them to me, please. I want to make sure we take care of our Chef Cliff because he's been a great supporter for all of us. Remember, you have him to go and talk to if you'd like. He's been in this industry for a long time and he knows what he wants to do and what he wants to teach you and wants to inspire you to do what you're supposed to do. So,
I got a question.
Sure.
Do you want us to use the spreadsheet that we're using for our final project to get the prices from, or
yes,
how do you want
can
us?
do that. You can do that. Yeah. It's a lot easier. Remember, the price sheet that we've given for that thing, the prices are way off because the prices change every day. And so basically what I want to do is make sure that we're in that category. Remember, 6 ounces or 8 ounces, remember, depending on what you're cooking on and what you want to serve and what is your price item that you want to sell that meal for. Remember?
Yeah, I was just curious
Yeah.
where you wanted us to get the price from, but that'll work.
That would be fine. And then don't forget, remember, what is your price of that menu item that you're going to be selling it for? Remember? So go back and get the logistics of that to make sure it's profitable for you when you open your shop or when you're going to be doing things. to understand. Well, Gary, are you there this morning? Good morning. You must be sleeping.
Good morning, Chef. I'm here.
I want to see your arm go up. Is that the hand? Thank you. I appreciate it.
You welcome.
I know. I'm sorry I woke you up.
No, I've been woke the whole time, so.
Oh, you've been up for a while. How's your granny doing? Remember that 106-year-old lady? I mean, that's a blessing.
Yeah, she good.
I still can't get over that one.
Her birthday is tomorrow.
Tomorrow's a B-day. Are you making her a cake?
Nah, I'm not. I can't get it to her.
Oh, where is she?
She's in Georgia.
Oh, okay. Long distance, I guess.
Yeah.
You can. That's wonderful. So you just came to school?
No, I was already here working before
were
I started school. Yeah.
Where were you working?
This company called CSC. I was doing datacom security sales.
Really? You always love cooking?
Yes.
Yeah. It's kind of an important thing, isn't it? We love to please people. Us chefs are people that are people pleasers.
Right.
Remember, we like to be noticed sometimes too, don't we? Don't say no, Gary, because I know you do. Don't you laugh. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know?
I do.
Yeah. So it's a great thing. Ivan, you play that music and you want to be noticed, but cooking would make you be noticed more, wouldn't it?
I don't
Are you
know. I think it could go either way. I think the whole idea of becoming a rock star is dead, but I think you could get the same amount of recognition from both, but just from different people.
Yeah. The kind of crowd that you want to please,
Yeah, yeah.
not the crowd that really disrupts a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, choosing your friends and choosing who you want to be with is so important, and the people that you surround yourself with.
Definitely.
Yep, I agree. Kendricks, we're going to get that voice taken care of. We want to hear you. Got it? Speaker, no, he doesn't get it. No thumbs up? Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Andre, you have a question? Jonas? Mia? Anthony? So make sure everybody got all the questions that they need to be asked, questions that we need to get done. James, are you okay? Are you the place is closed, and I saw it boarded up.
Yeah, it's still closed, and we were kind of hoping that I'd hear something the last couple of days about getting back to work, but no, I haven't heard anything. So it's kind of.
I think it'll make it pretty difficult. That I think 6th Street as a committee will need to have to get together.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think it's like just the restaurant's decision. No. I think they have to do, kind of.
Because I think with one restaurant opening, not with compensation with the other restaurant, I think it would make a big problem. So they need to open like maybe 5 or 6 of them at one time in stages and then work from there. Because I think on 6th Street being open, one restaurant would be really not done well.
And I know the Velvet Taco, the new Velvet Taco on 6th Street is really, really, really ready to open back up and get back going. You know, they were only open for like a few weeks, and then all this happened down on 6th Street. So
financially, it's really such a burden to the community and to themselves, because that's why we've got to support our people that have restaurants that are not, can I say this, are not, when you buy into a restaurant with their name, what do they call that? Franchising. Yeah, franchising, when it's your blood, sweat, and tears of your money. It's a lot different than somebody having a corporate place and open with somebody else's money. You get what I'm saying? Like Cracker Barrel or the taco place or let's go Italian place that have these names that you buy into for franchises.
Olive Garden and stuff like that. Yeah.
Exactly what I'm talking about. It's a little bit different when you have your whole money in it. It's really sad. And I worry for them because that's why we have to support these people coming in.
It looks like 6th Street's ready for a hurricane, how everything's boarded up. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, I know. I totally understand. And you know what was really surprising, even on Congress, there wasn't really one store open for even for water or anything. Nothing was open, nowhere.
Home Slice, I believe, is still kicking, but and I think Hot Dotty's doing takeout stuff, but it's not.
And I was really surprised that a lot of people didn't come and pick up food. I think it makes it harder on traffic to be downtown too.
Yeah,
to pick up food.
It's weird. Yeah, I mean, it's just not the normal hustle and bustle of 6th Street or South Congress on a Saturday afternoon. Like, yeah, it's definitely.
I saw that at Riverwalk yesterday. I'm so used to going to Riverwalk and saying, excuse me, to walk by somebody, and there was not one person around. It was really sad. And San Antonio, as beautiful city as it is.
And I know you were wondering, were we right? The boats weren't running, were they?
Not.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, they said they're going to open Friday, but they're only going to let 10 people on a boat at a time. So let's see. I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't think that's going to happen.
I agree.
I think we still got about another 4 to 5 weeks to get it all together. But then again, remember those restaurants are going to be bleeding and they're going to be really, it's going to be so hard on them. And I hope that they can get some help from somewhere. And we just say a prayer to say thank you for what we all have, guys, individually, that we can just plow through all of this stuff. Makes it really an important factor. So we learned a little bit about how a storeroom is run. Remember what we talked about, 6 inches, 3 inches away from the wall, 6 inches off the ground. Make sure that we don't have things that are dripping. Remember how we stack the refrigerators and the storerooms. The refrigerators for the items that we're going to be using, the proteins that we're going to be using. Remember? And making sure that we get that. Remember, chicken on the bottom always really has less contamination, has to make sure the contamination stays on the bottom part of it. Because if you have chicken dripping all on the top coming down, it's a mess. And it really does make a difference. What else did we learn? A little bit about making sure that our storeroom person, clerk, brings it in. Make sure he checks it off his list. Make sure that it's your money that he's taking care of to make it work. Otherwise, we're going to be wasting more money than we know what to do with. And every dollar counts, guys, for everything that we do. Make sure that each person that you hire is responsible for what they're doing. Really important. And another thing too is making sure that we utilize everything that we buy. Remember, date it. Just because a can is in the storeroom doesn't mean it can be there for a shelf life of a life. It has gauges, or it has time, and it has dates that tells you when it's an expiration date. How many times before you ever thought there was an expiration date on a can or a jar? It says best used by. So make sure we pay attention to that. Remember, first in and first out. Another thing that we have to worry about, make sure that we understand FISA, remember? The federation that tells you how the stockroom is stocked. How do the things work? How does inventory work? How many plates did you serve today? Adjusted by what you're serving. Making sure. Paying attention to detail. It's your money to make sure. Everybody understand how how to make sure that you do your menu, how to make a menu, and how to cost it out. Really kind of important to make it work. So one plate, not one item. Did you all get it? One plate, starch, vegetable, and one protein, one garnish to make it work. So I would appreciate that by tonight or tomorrow morning. I will let you know to make sure. evanpepper@scoutva.edu. Yes. Who wanted to talk to me?
Oh, I just said heard, Chef.
Oh, okay. Chef Cliff, anything else?
No, ma'am. I think you hit it. Sorry, I'm a little quiet today.
It's okay.
Feel better, Chef.
Hope you do too.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you for a great day and understanding what we're going to be doing. It's coming to an end. We've got one more week next week. Tomorrow we are in day 27 in our aspect of it, but it is day 20. Cannot believe we've already hit day 20 of this new age of teaching online. Day 20, 20 days. Unbelievable. But we really, I think overall in the class, we're all understanding how important each section of a restaurant ops is all about, how important it is. Maybe you thought it was important, but I think you learned a lot about more detailed idea of how important it is to make your money work well. And surround yourself with the best, please. Doesn't mean you're being favoritism to somebody. Remember, it's your money. You're the one in control. You're the one that can make it happen. And if you're going to give it to a half-assed person that doesn't pay attention to it, it's your money going down the drain. How true is that? And we want you to be the outcome of it. We want you to make sure that it gets taken care of. Thanks for a great day again. Appreciate it. If anybody have any comments, say it. Bye. Thank you.
Chef, what about feedback on our menu? Did you do that?
I'm going to do. I'll take care of it today.
Okay.
Thank you, honey. Thank you, Loretta.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye. Thank you, Roro. Smile. You better be smiling. You're not smiling for me today too much.
Always, Chef.
That's you. You never smile. It's okay, honey. You can just stay there underneath those curtains and you look great.
I gotta get ready, get my day started.
I know. Are you going to go to work today?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you busy?
No.
Oh, really? I'm really surprised at that. I saw 3 of your trucks going by yesterday when I went to San Antonio.
Yeah, like the most packages we've been having a day is like 3,000 with like 36 drivers. So it's really less than 100 packages per driver.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Mm-mm.
Changes the world, doesn't it? Didn't it change the world?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we find out that really we are a number.